Bringing Yellowstone's unique natural beauty to the screen would have been impossible without the tireless help of the local experts that know it like the back of their hand. Each has their own story to tell.
I was born the night of a blizzard, and my mother has always told me that she thinks that's why I'm so in love with winter.
Ex-park ranger and photographer Jeff Henry's 30 years of experience in Yellowstone helped the BBC crew unlock some of the national park's hidden secrets. But they could never get hold of Jeff once the snow started to fall.
Winter's by far my favorite season. I wish I could be the reverse of a bear and hibernate in the summer. You just wake up in the autumn and be looking at a new winter. I get really excited when the first snows come in the autumn. Snow to me is a mystical, magical substance.
I've always thought that it's very coarse of the English language to have just one word for it. There's snow, and then there's snow, and then there's snow, and then there's snow. The fresh snow that falls from the sky and that's here in Yellowstone tends to be light and fluffy, is vastly different than the snow that's been on the ground for 3 or 4 months.
3 million tourists travel each year to enjoy Yellowstone's spectacular wilderness. When winter arrives, however, the crowds disappear. But for the last 30 years, Jeff has enjoyed a very unusual way of both staying for the winter and indulging his love of snow. His task is to stop the few buildings in the heart of Yellowstone being completely swallowed. Jeff becomes what is officially known as a roof shoveler.
The reason I do that is the snow loads can sometimes, at least some years, become so heavy they can crush buildings or break parts of buildings.
Jeff must clear up to 3 meters of compacted snow from the roofs before it falls on anything wandering beneath, including himself.
If the building were to avalanche on top of me, it would be the end of the line for me.
From December onwards, Jeff spends 5 months clearing snow off Yellowstone's roofs. Timing is critical. If he starts a roof too early, fresh spring snow will undo all his hard work. Too late, and the roof may collapse.
This particular roof has a pitch that's steep enough that the snow will avalanche off if it's undercut. And to undercut the snow, I have to first dig some channels or trenches with a shovel. After I've cut those channels, I can lay a steel cable into each trench. And I pass that cable underneath the snowpack, between the snowpack and the shingles. And after the snow is undercut, it will avalanche off. Oh, I have to admit I get a tremendous kick out of the work. Little me at 190 pounds can move untold tons of snow in one swoop.
Jeff is especially drawn to what are known as cornices, the overhanging shelves of snow that cling to the edges of roofs. It's kind of a love-hate relationship.
This lovely pattern, lovely lines in the snow. You can see the major lines between major wind events, but you can see more minor lines, I guess, between more minor wind events. It's almost like the growth rings on a tree. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's fascinating. I can't wait to get up there and destroy it. Cornices are especially threatening structurally because there's so much weight hanging out over the edge of the building. It's not uncommon for an eaves to break when it has a big overhang. Ah! I love to do this work. I love to move snow. It's a thrill, it's exciting, it's fun. I could honestly say there's no place else I'd rather be.
But there's one building that's a real challenge for Jeff.
The Canyon General Store is approximately 50 years old, 52 years old, something in that range. And I've cleared this building for about half of its life. It's by far the largest building that I have to do. I often joke that it is the Bismarck of the enemy fleet. And it takes me a great many working days, as many as 40 or 50 working days per winter.
This roof collects more snow than any other in the park. Instead of using gravity to remove the compacted snow, Jeff has to rely on sweat and toil. But he's perfected his own methodical, precision, labor-saving technique.
Well, I try to cut the blocks large enough so that they be stable when I move them across the roof, but not so large that I can't move them. On this particular building, this year there'll be somewhere in the order of 3,000 blocks of snow. So I always reason that if I could save just 1 or 2% of the effort that it takes to move each block, that would be 1 or 2% times 3,000. That's why I work in this checkerboard pattern and move all the blocks that I just cut. And I don't have to go back and forth between the saw and the shovel that often. I suppose in some ways analogous to Yellowstone's wildlife in the winter, where they have to be so mindful of their energy equation. They cannot consistently expend more energy than they take in. And if they do, it's the end of the line.
"50 days spent alone on a roof gives Jeff a lot of time to just think.
Sometimes I find my imagination runs away with me. I think about how the snow not very long ago was warm seawater in the South Pacific Ocean. In just 3 or 4 months, it'll be water vapor or liquid water seeping into the earth here in Yellowstone or flowing down the Yellowstone River.
Jeff's snow clearing work allows him to be in the most beautiful parts of the park when no one else is around.
And I think everybody appreciates a little bit of solitude. I guess that's part of the reason I do the work that I do and spend as much time as I can in the park in the winter. Occasionally it just seems to me that I'm the only person for miles around. And that's a special feeling, especially in the early 21st century. I know that my parents first brought me here when I was 6 months old, and essentially I've spent my entire adult life here in Yellowstone. I don't know if I believe in destiny in a general sense, but I do believe that it was my destiny to come here and to spend most of my life here. Because of the work I do in the winter here, I've had a special opportunity, I think, to make empirical observations about the way things have gone in terms of winter weather in Yellowstone. I don't think there's any question that things are warmer and drier overall than they were when I first got here. I've always been dreading the day when I got too old to do this, but over the last 10 years or so it seemed that maybe Yellowstone would run out of snow before I got too old to move it. There's good snow this year, so I certainly hope it continues. Certainly hope there's snow to move in Yellowstone long after I'm not able to do it anymore. We'll see, I guess. I like the challenge when I first climb up onto the roof and take that first block of snow off. And then when I take the last block off a roof, I certainly feel a sense of satisfaction. I also immediately start thinking about next season when I'll be able to do the same building again. Yellowstone will always be my special place.